Joe, I've listened to you speak to groups around the country, and one of the things that you always talk about, and talk about it a lot, is practicing with a purpose. And I was a former coach, and I believe in practice, but man, you talk about it like it is the most important thing. Why is practice such a big deal for you?
Well, one of the things is you can see by today's quarterback positions that I wasn't the biggest and strongest person. So the things that I felt that I needed to do was be better prepared than anyone else, and that comes through practice. And we always practiced with the purpose when we went out there. Our practices were always broken up into sections. So we would practice for the 1 minutes period. That would be normal down and distance, first down situations. Then we'd break it up into third down and short, or we'd break it into the nickel passing defense. And we would always work on a specific part of the game. So we were practicing with a purpose. And as a quarterback, I always went onto the field with a purpose. I tried to complete 100% of my passes every time I stepped on the field, whether it's practice or a game. Now, it never happened, but I got pretty close. Well, actually I shouldn't say that it never happened, because it actually happened one time, although 3 of those passes in practice were interceptions, but the ball never hit the ground. But it was one of those things that I was taught from Bill Walsh at the time, was when you go out there and treat it as a game situation. Every time you take a snap, should never be practice. In my mind, every snap was a game snap.
I've watched Joe prepare for speeches and other things in business, and he has that same work ethic. It's over and over, the repetition. He believes that repetition is king of performance excellence. Practice is an opportunity. It's not an obligation. You noticed when Joe mentioned that he gave up football, it was because he started feeling like football was more of work than it was a chance for him to really do something that he loved doing. So we suggest that whatever your business is, whatever your work is, you have to prepare. And when you prepare, do it with the attitude and the intention that you want to be preparing, you want to practice. It's an opportunity to master and hone your skills. Joe, what are you practicing these days?
Well, a couple things. One, I have an investment business on the side that I practice doing things. I talk to people on how and get their feedback on the proper way of doing things. I also have gotten involved in cutting horses, and I try to practice that as much as I can, because it's very competitive for me now.
Thank you. That was Caddy Murata, owned by Jennifer and Joe Montana, shown by Joe Montana.
But the majority of the time for me in practice has been spent trying to help my boys who are now at the level in sports where they're wanting to get better.
I remember that when I was a kid, when I was 8 years old, and I was going, I want to go to the rink. I would put my skates on in the car, and I'd be ready to get on the ice right when I walked in the door. I mean, I loved the aloneness of being able to just focus on what my body was doing, and just being able to be one with the ice, and just being able to sort of figure it all out. And even I was even like that as a kid.
Let's apply this principle, practice with a purpose. You need to think of practice as fun time. Eliminate that I have to attitude and think about it as I want to do this. This is your time to get better, because when you get better, you tend to enjoy it more. We're going to ask you to write things down, start a journal, make a log of what you're doing and your accomplishments, because when you see it in black and white, it's a lot easier to see your goals and whether you're reaching them or not.